I'm a search and rescue officer in the Appalachian Mountains. The stairs have taken over 1,400 people. I've been a search and rescue officer in the Appalachian Mountains for 12 years, and I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. If you're ever hiking deep in these woods, I mean miles from any trail, where the trees are so thick you can barely see the sky, and you come across a staircase, a perfect, ornate staircase, just standing there in the middle of nowhere. Do not climb it. Do not touch it. And for the love of God, do not take a photograph of it. Because every single missing hiker we've never found, they all did exactly that. My name is Daniel, and I found my first staircase 6 years ago during a routine search for a missing teenager named Emily. She'd been hiking with friends, wandered off the trail to take photos, and never came back. We'd been searching for 3 days when I pushed through a particularly dense section of old-growth forest and saw it. A staircase. Victorian era by the look of it. Ornate wooden banisters, carved details, 15 steps leading up to nothing. Just air. Just forest canopy. It was completely out of place, like someone had sawed off a piece of a mansion's grand staircase and dropped it in the middle of the wilderness. The wood wasn't weathered, wasn't rotted. It looked brand new, despite clearly being antique. I radioed it into my team leader, Marcus. "You found what?" he asked, his voice crackling with static. "A staircase, just standing here, in the middle of nowhere." Long pause. "Daniel, stay away from it. Mark the location and move on." "Why? It might be relevant to the search." "Just mark it and move on," Marcus snapped. "Don't touch it. Don't climb it. Don't even get close to it. That's an order." The urgency in his voice stopped me cold. Marcus was a 20-year veteran, calm under every circumstance. I'd never heard him sound afraid before. I marked the GPS coordinates and continued the search. We never found Emily. After 2 weeks, the search was called off. Another missing hiker, another grieving family, another case that would haunt me. That night, back at the ranger station, I cornered Marcus. "What do you know about those stairs?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment, then sighed. "Come with me." He led me to a storage room I'd never been in before. Inside were filing cabinets, dozens of them. He pulled out a thick folder labeled "Anomalous Findings, Classified." Inside were reports, dozens of reports from SAR officers going back 40 years, and photographs, hundreds of photographs, all of staircases. Stone staircases, wooden staircases, spiral staircases, straight staircases, ornate staircases, simple staircases, every type imaginable, all photographed deep in the Appalachian wilderness, miles from any structure or trail. "We don't talk about them," Marcus said quietly. "Park Service policy. We find them, we document them, we tell nobody, especially not the public." "Why?" "Because of what happens to people who interact with them." He pulled out another folder. This one was labeled "Missing Persons, Staircase Correlation." Inside were case files. Emily's was on top, but there were dozens more. Hikers, campers, hunters, all missing, all last seen in areas where staircases had been documented. And in 12 cases, we'd recovered their cameras or phones. Every single one had a photo of a staircase as their last picture taken. "What are they?" I whispered. "We don't know. Forest Service brought in engineers, historians, paranormal investigators, Nobody has an explanation. They're not connected to any historical structures. They appear and disappear. Sometimes you'll find one, mark it, come back the next day, and it's gone. Sometimes they stay for years. And the missing people? Marcus closed the folder. We have theories. None of them good. Some think they're portals. Some think they're traps. One researcher believed they're bait, that something uses them to lure people. That's insane. Is it? Explain to me how a 100-year-old staircase appears in the middle of untouched forest with no foundation, no structure, no decay. Explain to me why every person who photographs one goes missing within 72 hours. I couldn't, so I did what Marcus told me. I stopped asking questions. For 3 years, I found 4 more staircases during various searches. Each time, I marked them, avoided them, and moved on. Each time, the missing person we were searching for was never found. And each time, if we recovered their camera, the last photo was always the same. A staircase. Then, 3 years ago, everything changed. We got a call about a missing couple, Kevin and Lisa, experienced hikers. They'd been on a 3-day backpacking trip and failed to check in at their scheduled time. Their car was at the trailhead. Their route was documented. I was assigned to search Grid 7, a remote section about 9 miles from the nearest trail. My partner that day was a rookie named Sarah, fresh out of training. We'd been searching for 4 hours when Sarah called out, "Daniel, I found something." I pushed through the underbrush and saw her standing in a small clearing, staring upward. My stomach dropped. A spiral staircase. Wrought iron. Ornate. Beautiful. 15 feet tall, spiraling up into the canopy. Completely intact, completely impossible. And Sarah was walking toward it. "Sarah, stop!" I shouted. She froze, hand outstretched toward the banister. "What? I was just going to get away from it, right now." She backed up slowly, confused. "Daniel, what is this thing?" I pulled out my radio to mark the coordinates, but before I could speak, we heard it. Voices. Multiple voices. Coming from above the staircase, calling for help. Sarah's eyes went wide. "That's them. That's Kevin and Lisa. They're up there." The voices were clear, desperate. "Help us, please. We're stuck. We can't get down." Sarah started toward the stairs again. I grabbed her arm. "That's not them," I said. "What are you talking about? I can hear them." "So can I. But Sarah, listen to me. It's not them. It's never them." The voices got louder, more frantic. "Please, help us. We're dying up here. Please." Sarah was crying now. "We have to help them. If we climb those stairs, we'll disappear just like they did, just like everyone else." "You're not making any sense." She tried to pull away from me. The voices changed. They weren't calling for help anymore. They were calling our names. "Daniel, Sarah, please, come help us. We're so scared. Daniel, Sarah." How did they know our names? Sarah went rigid. "That's my mother's voice," she whispered. "That's my mom. She's been dead for 5 years." I heard it too, mixed in with Kevin and Lisa's voices, other voices, familiar voices. My brother who died in Iraq. My high school girlfriend who'd been killed by a drunk driver. All of them calling to us from the top of those stairs. "We're leaving," I said, pulling Sarah backward. "Right now." "Daniel, please." "That's an order, Sarah. We're leaving now." I dragged her away from the clearing. The voices followed us for half a mile, echoing through the trees, begging us to come back, promising they were real, promising they needed help. When we finally got back to base camp, I reported the staircase location and requested we suspend the search in that grid. Marcus knew immediately. "You found one." With voices, Sarah heard her dead mother. I heard people I've lost, calling our names, begging us to climb. Marcus went pale. "The voices are new. That's never been reported before." Sarah was shaking in the corner, wrapped in a blanket. "It was my mom," she kept saying. "It was really her voice. How did it know her voice?" We found Kevin and Lisa 2 days later, 5 miles in the opposite direction from the staircase at the bottom of a ravine. They'd fallen trying to navigate in the dark. Their deaths were ruled accidental, but when we recovered their belongings, we found Lisa's camera. The last photo, time-stamped 3 days before their deaths, a spiral staircase. The exact same one Sarah and I had found. That should have been the end of it. Should have been another documented case, another closed file. But 3 weeks later, Sarah didn't show up for her shift. Her roommate called it in. Sarah had left for a morning hike and never came back. Her car was found at a trailhead. Her phone was in her apartment. No note, no explanation. I knew immediately where she'd gone. I grabbed my gear and headed to Grid 7, to the clearing where we'd found the spiral staircase. Marcus tried to stop me. "Daniel, you can't. If you go there..." "She's one of mine, Marcus. I'm not leaving her." I hiked for 6 hours straight, navigating by GPS to the exact coordinates I'd marked. When I reached the clearing, my blood ran cold. The spiral staircase was still there, and Sarah was climbing it. She was about halfway up, moving slowly, methodically. Her face was blank, expressionless, like she was in a trance. "Sarah!" I screamed. "Sarah, stop!" She didn't respond, didn't even turn around, just kept climbing. I ran to the base of the stairs. Up close, I could see details I'd missed before. The metal wasn't just ornate, it was carved with symbols, strange symbols I didn't recognize. And the stairs themselves seemed to shimmer, like heat waves rising from pavement. Sarah reached the top step. She stood there for a moment, looking up at nothing, at empty air, and then she stepped off. But she didn't fall. She just disappeared, like walking through an invisible doorway. One moment she was there, the next she was gone. I stood there frozen, staring at the empty space where Sarah had been. Then I heard her voice. "Daniel, it's beautiful up here. You have to see this. Please come up, please." It was Sarah's voice, exactly her voice, coming from above the staircase. My hand reached for the banister. I don't remember deciding to do it. My body just moved. The metal was warm under my palm. Impossibly warm, like it had been sitting in summer sun, despite the cool autumn air. I put my foot on the first step, and immediately the forest changed. The sound disappeared first. No birds, no wind, no rustling leaves. Complete silence except for the voices above me. "Come up, Daniel. Come see. It's wonderful." Not just Sarah now, Kevin, Lisa, Emily, all the missing hikers, all calling to me. I took another step. The world around me started to fade. The trees became translucent, like looking through frosted glass. The ground beneath the stairs wasn't ground anymore. It was darkness, absolute darkness, like staring into a void. I took a third step, and then I saw them. Below the stairs, in the darkness, faces, hundreds of faces, thousands, all staring up at me, all reaching, all silent except for their mouths moving in unison, forming words I couldn't hear. They weren't calling for help. They were warning me. Something grabbed my ankle. I looked down. A hand, coming through the darkness between the steps, pale, skeletal, fingers wrapped around my ankle like a vice. Then another hand, and another. They were pulling me down, not up toward the voices, down, into the darkness beneath the stairs. I screamed and yanked my foot backward, falling hard onto the forest floor. The moment I broke contact with the stairs, everything snapped back. The sounds, the colors, the solid ground. I scrambled backward, gasping, my heart hammering so hard I thought it would burst. The voices above stopped. And then I heard something else, something worse. Laughter, not human laughter. Something ancient and cold and hungry, echoing from everywhere and nowhere at once. I ran faster than I've ever run in my life, crashing through underbrush, not caring about the GPS, not caring about the trail, just running away from that clearing, away from those stairs, away from whatever was beneath them. I don't remember the hike back. I don't remember reaching my truck. I just remember sitting in the parking lot at dawn, shaking, with no memory of the night. Marcus found me there 3 hours later. "You went after Sarah," he said. It wasn't a question. I nodded. "Did you climb them?" 3 steps. I climbed 3 steps. My voice sounded hollow, distant. "Marcus, what's beneath them? What are those things?" He was quiet for a long time. "We think the stairs aren't the phenomenon. We think they're the entrance. Whatever's down there, beneath the stairs, it's been there a long time. Longer than these mountains. The stairs are how it feeds." "Feeds on what?" "People who climb. The voices, the calling. That's the lure. But the hands you felt, that's what actually takes them. Not up, down, into whatever exists beneath our world." "And Sarah?" Marcus shook his head. "She's gone, Daniel, like all the others. I'm sorry." We sat in silence. Finally, I asked the question I was terrified to hear answered. "Why do they keep appearing? Why don't we destroy them?" "We've tried. Chainsaws don't touch them. Fire doesn't burn them. Explosives do nothing. They're not really here, not in the physical sense. They're projections, doorways. You can't destroy a doorway from this side. So we just let it keep taking people? We warn people away. We mark the locations. We do what we can." Marcus looked old suddenly, exhausted. "But people are curious, Daniel. People don't listen. And some people hear voices they can't resist." That was 3 years ago. Sarah was never found. Neither were Kevin, Lisa, Emily, or any of the others. I found 8 more staircases since then. Each time I mark them, document them, and walk away. Each time I hear whispers. Sometimes it's Sarah's voice. Sometimes it's the voices of other missing hikers, always calling, always inviting. I requested a transfer last month. I can't do this anymore. Can't keep finding those stairs, can't keep documenting people who disappear, can't keep hearing their voices echo through the trees. But before I left, I accessed the classified files one last time. I needed to know the full scope. There are over 200 documented staircases in the Appalachian Mountains alone. Over 1,400 missing persons cases with confirmed or suspected staircase correlation. And the phenomenon is spreading. Reports are coming in from the Rockies now, the Cascades, the Sierra Nevadas. Last week, a park ranger in Washington found a staircase. She climbed it. She's gone now. The file on my desk included her last photo. A beautiful Art Deco staircase, marble and gold, in the middle of a pine forest. And in the metadata of the photo, if you zoom in to the darkness beneath the bottom step, you can see them. The faces, thousands of them. All the people who climbed. All the people who listened to the voices. All of them staring out from the darkness. Trapped. Waiting. And in the very front, her hand pressed against what looks like glass or membrane, is Sarah. Her mouth is open, like she's screaming, but no sound can escape. I submitted my resignation the next day. But here's what keeps me awake at night, what I need you to understand if you ever go hiking in these mountains. The staircases aren't random. I finally figured out the pattern. Every single staircase appears within 50 miles of where someone went missing. Not before they disappear, after. Like whatever's beneath is marking its territory, claiming its hunting ground. And the number of staircases is increasing. Last month there were 200 documented in the Appalachians. This month, there are 247. It's accelerating. I don't work search and rescue anymore, but I still monitor the reports. I can't help myself. 3 days ago, a hiker in the Smokies posted a photo on Instagram. She thought she'd found some kind of art installation, a gorgeous Victorian staircase in the middle of the forest. She was so excited. She said she was going back the next day to climb it for a better photo. Her account has been silent since then. Her family reported her missing yesterday. So I'm telling you this now, whoever you are, wherever you're hiking, if you find a staircase in the woods, any staircase, anywhere, that has no business being there, I don't care how beautiful it is. I don't care how curious you are. I don't care what voices you hear calling from above it. Turn around, walk away, and don't look back, because if you climb those stairs, you won't be going up. You'll be going down, into the darkness, into the feeding ground. And once you're down there, beneath the stairs, with all those faces pressed against the barrier, screaming silently for help, they'll never receive. There's no coming back, ever. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.